Okay, so as we enter the worship space here at Kent City Chapel Hill, the first thing you'll notice is there's pews here, in contrast to Cedar Springs, where there are chairs. So the space is less able to be modified for this particular time of worship. Now, per the congregation's request, if you will, or some people in the congregation, I preach in this space up here. So I don't preach from the pulpit right there, but I have been in the pulpit before during a funeral. And actually, I prefer being in the pulpit. I'll show you the look at the sanctuary. But in this particular sanctuary, if somebody's sitting off to this side, it can be obstructed. But here's the view of the sanctuary from the pulpit. And then the altar's here, pretty far behind me. So that leaves for less interaction with the altar. And then here's the view from where I typically stand, which is here in the aisle to preach. Now, most days, most Sundays, I am preaching to an empty sanctuary. We did have our outside service, this past one, as I had mentioned before, but this is what I'm seeing most days. And I have had indoor services here, a couple, and people are spread out. You do get this echo that you're probably hearing now because the space is mostly empty. So those are some of the challenges. Some of the other challenges to this particular space, like I mentioned, the altar being behind me, I don't get to interact much with elements that we may place on the altar, which I tend to do from time to time. Also, with communion, it makes it more difficult because I find myself back behind the altar, which is pretty far back, and I'm pretty far removed then from the congregation. I feel that way anyways. So here is Chapel Hill United Methodist Church and the worship space in which I present my sermons and the rest of worship.